An gédal sias is mé an fearcín fóilse ró dhiileach agus tá súlam go muine sibh teanamh san lá. Mar héin agus san saibhín bunne mit teanamh a ggóla as san seans mí an castle le duine tácós na chuid nar háitce súile an milliún se. May I just say how, first of all, welcome you very warmly. Sabina and I very much welcome the opportunity of meeting so many people who come in different ways to these afternoon events that we organise. Some people write in, others, sometimes we have a particular theme we are following. But I think the main purpose of it all is to recognise activity and practical citizenship in all its different forms in different parts of our island. This afternoon, for example, I noticed there's a very strong literary component down in as Susan Walsh, Robert Savage, Dr. Eupin Liu, Dr. Cuivin Creon, Declan Kettle and Christy Gillespie. And all I have to say is that it is so clear that, and it's very encouraging that there is a great interest in Ireland, let us say, in the case of the Kettle families, read the recent book on, it was just wonderful, a celebration of one of the great friends of Parnell, and I was so pleased that book appeared. But so many also want to thank Dr. Liu in particular for the honour that he gives me by the translation of my poem, The Prophets Are Weeping. There's Christy Gillespie between his magnificent book. I'm making my mistake now by mentioning all the different ones by simply saying, but it will suffice it to say that we have a very strong literary representation. And it's very good to know because we're at an interesting time in Ireland in relationship between the printed word and the digitalised world, so on. In a way, the book has been under threat for a couple of decades now, nearly. And I think I myself am very much supportive of publishers. I don't use the word publish much. I would say to people who make a book, because those of us who are interested for a long time, there's the binding and the stitching, there's the quality of the paper, the print, and all of that. It's the book as it is handled and appreciated. And regularly I refer to Thomas Merton's beautiful insight when he suggested the serendipity of books, and the book will choose you when you are ready. I'm absolutely believe in that myself. Sometimes engagements over the last decades when I would be suddenly having to speak somewhere, and I often had the book come off the shelf practically and tell me now is the time to be making reference to it. And in relation to Thomas the Kettle and the Kettle family, I was immediately attracted to the invitation to write a foreword for that book because of the strength of the relationship. Something that doesn't quite come easily out of history is the relationship between characters, and the relationship between Kettle and Parnell was one that was very sensitive in relation to even when Mr. Kettle felt that Parnell was making a mistake, he still stayed with him to live through the mistake. And it's a great lecture in the ethics of friendship. But I keep moving on and just say as well, I'm so delighted to some people here from the Missionary Sisters of the Holy Rosary. Cowilshire, where are you? I think you're somewhere down there. Isn't that it? There they are at the far end and things like that. I want to thank you for the Missionary Sisters of St. Francis are involved with a student in Uganda, Augustine Bayakatonda, who is a Tutsi whose education I was involved in for a long while. But there's so many other people and so many others. The magnificent BT Young scientist, Sean Allen, is here with us. And also, as well as this, Áras Regaragui, who does great work in promoting Ireland to foreign audiences, and then there's Tony Lorne, Tony Gann. I could go on. I was very pleased to see so many people who've come from the Leeson Park nursing home. And I think I'm welcoming Shirley Kavanagh and Ellie and her granddaughter Ellie Brooke. Leeson Park Nursing Home also is where my dear friend Paul Durkin is. Paul Durkin and I travelled around the country reading poems. It seems so many years ago now. And I've sent him a message to say on Christmas Day I will read myself, I'll read one of his poems to try and recollect what life was like when we were doing that. I think this, as we come to the end of the year, in a way, it's good, I think, why we put on all these lights and the lights and the Áras Neutron. There's a tradition now. There's Laura who's the person who does so much, but I'm so grateful to the Office of Public Works, so grateful to the staff here for the incredible effort that is put in. Lights that, as it were, remind us that the dark is being pierced and that spring will come and that there is a possibility of resilience and renewal. I also, as well, for the authenticity of our meeting together, in a moral sense, say it is necessary to remind us not only of where we are, but also of what time in the history of the planet we're living. I'm pleased that the failure has been avoided in COP28, that we look as if we might have begun taking the necessary steps and the disastrous changes that have been visited on our planet. But also I think it is very important to remember that many people of my age and others refer to the area that they would have referred to as the Holy Land is now a crucible of suffering for children and for mothers and for people, families and so on. So I, as President of Ireland, very much think that hope that the coming year we will all use what opportunities we have for promoting peace. War is not the natural condition of the human species, and if it was, it would be species failure. And of course, so many other, we have done so much destruction on the planet. So I think at this particular time, to all of the children in Gaza and their mothers and fathers, and also as well as those families of those who lost people who were abducted and who are being held as hostage. But I think that it is very important for us all, in a way, the quality of life in the world is lessened when people can speak only of military strength and when diplomacy is regarded as something that is a lesser failed option. I think that I won't delay you longer on that, except to say that this will be part of my Christmas message, which I recorded yesterday. I think we have to always be positive. For example, sometimes when we hear about the devastation and the desertification of our planet, we might say, maybe it's too big a problem for all of us. No, it is all the small things that we all do taken together are necessary. They are contributing to the solution. I know many times as well, I had the privilege this year of meeting again Pope Francis and discussing with him his latest message, Laudate Deum, and I think that what is interesting now is only the gap between the huge majority of intellectual, moral and spiritual thought in the world that wants a totally different, new, hopeful connection between ecology, economics, justice and so on. And that's what Pope Francis is speaking about. But so also is Lula in Brazil, and so is also the President of Chile. It is that if the expressions of the world is for peace and sustainability, well then the challenge is to make it happen. I hope that this Christmas will be a time for all of you, and hope that it will be one that will be strengthened from a culture of empathy and understanding. And when we meet people, riding like the young scientists, and wonderful, with the great genius that it is there, isn't it we should encourage our young people to deliver their energies, their intellectual strength to where it is most needed. These are not places, shouldn't be defined by where the fingers of commerce stretch, but where in fact the best results of your human intelligence can offer you results in present time. So is ínta an rud is féidir in dhéanamh na féidir atá má tá muid sásúta le obairthas lámha bhfuil céile, agus a góraíocht, agus a sic an am céine fáiln got ginerált an down a hógad on in hay. May I just, as I have just said, it is wonderful at Christmas time to think of the possibilities that there when we work cooperatively and responsibly with each other, and also that what it releases within us in terms of a joy that is beyond any materialism. I just want to hope that you all enjoyed this afternoon. We're very fortunate. I want to thank all of the staff of the Áras who produce all of what will be on the tables in front of you here. Míle buíochas tris I want to thank our first aiders from civil defence who are with us. And indeed, as well as that to say, but now, most importantly of all, we're going to be entertained by a wonderful, talented singer, Simon Morgan, who's accompanied on the piano by Maria Guerin. All I have to say is this: I hope that as the days lengthen and slowly, and as a new season ends, let us hope that it will be a season that is bringing with it peace. And also let us hope, as many cases may I wish you, Queen Gachrapa Spanachtarin who want on Tronona Shop, then I have lean of the Tower Key. I so wish you all a good wish, not just for the season that is in it, but for the coming renewed year, but also for the rest of your life, for you and your family. Every good wish is Bergok Bannock.